Never tell people what you do. Have you ever found yourself caught in a conversation where you're asked, so what do you do? Your heart races, your mind starts to scramble for an answer, and in that moment, you feel the weight of expectations pushing down on you? But what if I told you that telling people what you do is the very thing that limits your potential? What if the secret to achieving your deepest desires and living your most extraordinary life is to stop explaining what you do and start showing who you are? What if the way you think about success, achievement, and personal growth is all wrong, and this one shift in mindset could change everything for you? Section 1, the trap of labels and expectations. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt defined by a title? Maybe you've been labeled as a lawyer, a student, a business owner, a teacher, or an artist. The truth is, we all carry these labels, whether we like it or not. And while these labels are often meant to give others a sense of who we are, they also come with a set of expectations. Expectations that can limit us. Think about it. The moment you tell someone what you do, they immediately form a picture in their minds. You're no longer a person in that moment. You become a set of assumptions. They assume they know what you're about. They think they've figured you out. Now, I get it. Labels are convenient, right? They help people quickly understand us. But here's the problem. When we're labeled, we stop being dynamic human beings. We become predictable. People stop asking the deeper questions. They don't wonder about your dreams, your goals, or what drives you. They stop wondering what you're capable of. But what if I told you that this box you've been placed in, this box of labels, doesn't have to define you? What if you could break free from these limitations and step into something greater? The only limit to your impact is your imagination and commitment. Think about that for a moment. If your imagination is limitless, why are you limiting yourself with labels that confine you to a single box? Now imagine for a second if people didn't automatically define you by your title. What if they were curious about you, about who you are, what you truly stand for, and what you could become? The impact you could make in the world could be so much bigger than any label. Look at the world's greatest innovators: Steve Jobs, Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein. These were individuals who didn't allow themselves to be boxed in by what others thought they could do. They didn't tell people, I'm a tech CEO or I'm a physicist. Instead, they showed the world what was possible. They didn't talk about their titles because they understood something important. Titles are limiting. They are just words. What really matters is the vision you hold for your life and the work you do to bring that vision into reality. Section 2, the power of mystery and intrigue. Now let's talk about something a bit more mysterious, something that has the power to truly transform the way people see you. The power of intrigue, the power of mystery. Have you ever noticed that the most successful, the most powerful people rarely talk about what they do? They don't need to. They don't introduce themselves with their job titles or their credentials. Instead, they let their actions, their work, and their results speak for themselves. Think about that for a second. The next time someone asks you, what do you do? Don't just fall into the trap of saying your job title. I'm a teacher or I'm a lawyer. Might seem like an easy answer, but what happens next? The conversation usually ends right there. Why? Because people already think they know who you are based on that title. But what if you gave a different response? What if instead of saying I'm a business owner, you said something like, I help people transform their lives, or I'm passionate about creating lasting impact? Suddenly, that simple shift in your response opens up a whole new realm of possibilities. People will be curious. They'll want to know more. The conversation will evolve into something much deeper. You'll become someone who is intriguing, someone who is full of potential and purpose. Think about the people you admire the most. Do they focus on titles or do they talk about their passion, their mission, their why? People are drawn to purpose. They are drawn to meaning. When you start sharing your purpose instead of just your title, you spark curiosity. And curiosity, my friend, is a powerful thing. Take the example of Elon Musk. When he speaks, he doesn't just say, I'm the CEO of Tesla. He talks about his mission to change the world, to create a sustainable future, and to make life multiplanetary. He shares his why, and that's what excites people. That's what draws them in. They want to know more. They want to be a part of the story. They want to be part of something bigger than themselves. Section 3. The freedom of letting go of labels. The beauty of this shift is that it sets you free. It allows you to be dynamic and evolving. It gives you permission to chase after new passions, new opportunities, and new dreams without the pressure of living up to an old label. Imagine the possibilities if you stopped letting people define you by your title. Instead of being a business owner or entrepreneur, you could be someone who's always in the process of growing, learning, and expanding. Instead of being defined by your job, you could be defined by your vision and the impact you make. And you don't have to wait for permission to make this change. You can start today. The next time someone asks you, what do you do? Don't just give them a title. Share your vision, your purpose, your mission. Tell them why you do what you do, not just what you do. Embrace the power of you. So here's your takeaway today. Stop letting labels define you. Stop letting people box you in. Embrace the power of curiosity, of mystery, and of purpose. Show the world who you are, not through titles, but through your actions, your vision, and your commitment to something bigger. The world doesn't need more people defined by their titles. The world needs more people who are driven by purpose, who are curious, and who are always evolving. If you can shift the way you talk about yourself, if you can let go of the labels, you'll open doors to opportunities you never thought possible. So I challenge you, the next time someone asks you, what do you do? Don't just give them a title, give them your why. Let your actions speak louder than your job description. Because the only limits to your impact are the ones you place on yourself. Break free and watch your impact expand. Section 3, why actions speak louder than words. All right, let's dive into the heart of this. Action. Think about it for a second. How many times have you heard someone talk about their dreams, their goals, their big plans, only to watch them never take a single step toward making it happen? It's frustrating, isn't it? At first, you might feel hopeful for them, but eventually you lose interest. The words become empty. They lose their weight. Now, contrast that with someone who's not saying much at all, but shows up every day, working, evolving, progressing toward their goal. They don't need to explain themselves. They don't need to tell you what they're doing. Their actions speak for them, and it's powerful, right? People are not lazy. They simply have impotent goals. That is, goals that do not inspire them. Your actions need to inspire not just you, but everyone around you. If you're walking the walk, the right people will notice. The right opportunities will come your way. Your actions become your motivation, your proof, your purpose. You don't need to boast about what you do when your actions are loud enough. Now let's look at someone like Thomas Edison. Did he spend his time talking about what he was going to do? No, he showed us. His actions were his story. His inventions, the light bulb, they spoke volumes. He didn't need a title. He didn't need a fancy explanation. He simply showed up, worked, and delivered results. He was constantly evolving, constantly pushing boundaries, and by doing so, he transformed the world. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. You don't need to give a long speech about your goals. Let your actions do the talking. When you start showing up consistently and making things happen, you won't need to tell anyone who you are. They'll see it in everything you do. Section 4, unlocking personal power by withholding your what. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about something really powerful, withholding your what. I know this sounds a little strange at first, but hear me out. It's all about unlocking your true personal power. So often we tie our identity to our job title, our role, or our career. We feel like we have to define ourselves by what we do. But here's the thing, you are so much more than what you do. You are more than just your job or your achievements. When you realize that, you tap into a whole new level of personal strength. Let me ask you this. Why do we often define success by how we compare to others? We're constantly measuring ourselves against other people's lives, their careers, their accomplishments. But that's not your journey. It shouldn't be about meeting other people's expectations of what success looks like. It should be about you, your vision, and your own path forward. That's why personal growth is everything. The key to living a fulfilling life is growth, not in the way society defines it, but in the way you define it. When you stop explaining your what to everyone, when you stop tying your worth to your title or your position, that's when you truly step into your power. You create your own narrative. You are the author of your story, and you don't need anyone else's approval to start writing. Think about it. When you're not obsessed with defining yourself by your career or your job title, you unlock a world of possibilities. You're free to dream bigger, to create more, and to chase after what truly inspires you. It's about discovering who you are, not who others think you should be. So here's the takeaway. Don't let your job title or career define you. Let your actions do the talking. Don't spend time explaining what you do. Spend your energy showing up, working hard, and growing. Your actions will speak volumes, and your journey will be yours to define. Stop waiting for permission to go after what you want and start making it happen today. Remember, it's not about what you do, it's about who you become in the process. So go out there, be bold, and let your actions shape the world around you. If this resonated with you, take a moment to reflect. How are you letting your actions speak for you today? What's one step you can take right now to start living your truth, to start showing up and making things happen? Section 5. How to shift your mindset, a step-by-step guide. So how do you make this shift? How do you stop telling people what you do and start embracing your limitless potential? It starts with a simple but powerful change in your mindset. Here's a step-by-step guide to help you make that transformation. 1. Change your perspective. The next time someone asks you, what do you do? Don't immediately respond with a job title. Pause for a moment, take a deep breath. Instead of rattling off a label, think about the impact you want to make. For example, if you're an accountant, you might say, I help people achieve financial freedom. Or if you're a teacher, you could say, I inspire young minds to unlock their full potential. By focusing on your impact rather than just your role, you shift the conversation from what you do to why it matters. And trust me, that's the kind of answer that sticks. 2, focus on the why. When you share your why, you're sharing your purpose. People don't just want to hear about your job. They want to understand what drives you, what lights that fire inside of you. What gets you out of bed in the morning? Let's be real, we're all searching for meaning. And when you share your why, you give others a glimpse into your core. That's how connections happen. Maybe your why is empowering others, making a difference in your community, or helping people reach their full potential. Whatever it is, make it the heart of your story. 3, let your actions speak. Now, here's the truth. You can say all the right things, but your actions will always speak louder. How are you showing up in the world? How do you consistently prove the value you bring to others? Actions create identity. Think about someone you admire. Maybe they're a mentor, a leader, or a public figure. What do they do every single day that makes you respect them? It's their consistency, their follow-through, their dedication to their craft. And that's what people will remember about you. It's not the title you hold, it's the actions that define your character. 4, embrace continuous growth. You might be doing great things now, but that doesn't mean you should stop there. Growth is not a destination, it's a journey. Always push yourself to learn, evolve, and become better. Even on the days when it feels hard, keep going. Progress isn't always linear, sometimes it's messy, but those little steps forward, they add up. Don't ever settle for good enough. The world needs the best version of you, and guess what? That version is always just one decision away. So choose growth, choose change, and keep moving forward, no matter how small the step might feel. Section 6, concluding now. I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, are you ready to stop letting your job title define you? Are you ready to step into a life of limitless potential, free from the labels others try to place on you? Think about it. If you only ever define yourself by what you do in your job, you limit your power. The world doesn't need to know exactly what you do. They need to know what you stand for, what you're passionate about, and the impact you make every single day. It's not the title that matters, it's the difference you're making. It's how you show up. It's how you inspire others to take action. It's how you empower people with your story, your journey, and your vision. It's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives. It's what we do consistent. Those small everyday actions, your decisions, your mindset, the way you show up are what shape your future. So stop explaining, start living, show up as the person you know you can be, not just as your job title. The world is waiting to see the real you, the person full of limitless potential. Here's your challenge. Stop telling people what you do. Start showing them who you are. Every single day, show up as your best self. Be the example. Be the inspiration. The world is ready for you to embrace your power and let your actions redefine your legacy. Let's keep the movement of growth, empowerment, and change alive. You are more than your title. You are a force of nature. Now go out and prove it.